So in today's session, we are going to look at one more important topic that is called control structures. So if you look at any programming language, right, control structures are the most important aspects to control the flow of your execution, right? Suppose example, if you want to check some condition, if you want to execute some sort of code continuously or repeatedly, during that in such scenarios you will typically use the control structures a lot. Okay, so and the data types or the variables or the control structure, these are not specific to any programming language. Syntax might be slightly different, but you can apply the learnings here in any of the programming language. Okay, like example C++, Java or JavaScript, right? So you can apply the control structures anywhere. So we'll see what are the control structures which are supported by Python. We'll look at all those examples, okay, and we'll look at the syntax as well. Okay, fine. So first thing is, let me go to the notepad quickly to control structures. Okay, so in Python, the control structures or control structures, especially as I told, if you want to check some conditions or if you want to execute some piece of code iterative fashion, then you are going to use the control structures. Okay, so control structures are typically, you can look at, one is if is one control structure. Okay, if is basically takes a condition. Okay, so this will check a condition. If condition true, this will execute the next set of lines below the if condition, right? And we have one more thing called else, right? So if the condition is not satisfied, then else block will be executed. Okay, suppose example, what if there are multiple conditions are there, then you are going to use one more control structure called else if. Okay, right? So else if is the another control structure. If, else and else if. Typically if followed by else, and if you have multiple conditions, then the order would be first if condition, then else if is the second condition, and if you have one more condition to check, then one more else if, finally we are going to write the else. So this is how the execution or the sequence of the execution will happen during or using the if control structure. So when we are going to use the control structure if, suppose example, I would like to check whether a particular person is eligible for vote or not, right? So typically I ask the user to enter his age. If the age is greater than 18, I am going to print the candidate is eligible for vote. You can look at a lot of use cases. Suppose example, when you open up any website, social media or Twitter or anything, so there are some websites which are asking you to enter the age. So if the age is greater than 18, they are going to show some content, whether it is the content is adult content or children content or things like that. You can use or you can check by using the if and else condition, right? So there is one more control structure called switch case, right? So switch is another control structure. Suppose example, if you have more conditions to check, so typically as per the best practices, if you have 1 to 4 condition maximum, you can use if followed by 2 else ifs, and else condition is the accepted as per the industry practice. Okay, if you have more number of conditions to check, okay, 4 to 7 conditions, then in that case better to use switch case. Okay, so switch is going to take a condition, okay, and based on the appropriate condition match, the respective case will be executed. Okay, so first if and else followed by switch case, we have one more set of control structures or repeated. Suppose example, if you want to print 10 numbers, or if you want to execute the same task 100 times, like example, I would like to print hello world. One time is okay. Two times I can use one more print statement. If I ask you to print 100 times print statement, right, it is not a good practice to write print statement 100 times, so which is increasing the number of lines. It does not make any a good practice, or it doesn't look good, right? So if you have such use case, if you want to perform any particular task repetitive in nature, then you can use a control structure called for, right? And we have one more control structure called while. Okay, so for and while, these are the control structures used to perform the iterative tasks. Okay, so whereas your if and else condition is checking a particular condition based on the condition validity. When the if condition true, then the statements which are below the if condition will be executed. If the condition fails, else block will be executed. We'll see the examples practically. Okay, and then as per the industry practice, we can use switch case, if and else, if you want to check more maximum 4 conditions. If it is crosses 4 condition, it is advised to use switch case. Okay, we'll see the examples how we are going to use them in practice. Okay, so let's open up our